Bears! This is Bear Blast, the official podcast of student life at Mott Community College. Whether you're new to campus or have been here for a while, this is your spot to catch up on what's happening, hear real stories from students and staff, and find new ways to get involved. From events and campus tips to student success stories and special guests, we're here to help you make the most of your time at MCC. Let's get started!
All right, good afternoon. This is Bear Blast. My name is Alyshia, and I am the Student Life Coordinator at Mott Community College, and we are going to have a great topic today on our podcast. But before we get into our topic, we do want to get introduced to those that are our guests today. As many of you know, our frequent guests, our regular guests that we have are part of the Student Presidential Advisory Council, also known as SPAC. But today we actually have another special guest with us who is not affiliated with that group, but knows a little bit about our topic. So before we get started on that, I want to know a little bit about you guys. What's your name? What's your major? And how long you have to go to at Mott? Or if you're not a student, tell us a little bit about yourself. So go ahead, guys.
My name is Jace Grundy. It's my second year here. I'm doing an associate's in science right now. Just finished my transfer agreement, and things have been going pretty good so far.
Andre Hood is my first year, part of SPAC, and I'm going for my associates in general studies.
My name is Grant Morrison. I'm currently studying business here at Mott, hopefully going to be transferring in the fall to U of M. I'm a part of NSLS, CLEF, and SPAC.
My name is Kimberly Delish, also known as KD, also known as the unofficial mayor of Mott, just in case you were curious about that. No, it is a true statement. I keep telling everybody that. I am the purchasing manager here at Mott. I don't go to school here, but I do have an associate's degree.
All right.
Yeah.
See, now that you've declared yourself mayor, I think that means that you get to deal with all of the questions from anybody that comes in at Mott. What do you say to that?
Alyshia, it's funny that you say that because in
you
fact,
probably do.
I do deal with all of the questions.
You probably do
from
anyway.
Mott. I'm like, I know a lot about Mott. If you need to know about Mott, I can hook you up.
No, that's good because I definitely don't. So don't come to me with questions. I don't know. Ask KD.
I'm your girl.
If you come to Student Life, we'll tell you where her office is. You can go visit her.
Just down the hall.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks guys for joining us today. We have a really close topic to my personal life here at Mott, and it is about student organizations. So we're having a spotlight on student organizations, highlighting different student orgs and what they do on campus or off campus. So I'm really excited to talk about this today because this is obviously something that goes through or circulates through student life on the daily. So aside from what I know about it, which will fill in all necessary gaps, I'm curious to know what you guys know about it and what you can do to promote this opportunity to other students on campus for them to get involved. So my basic first question to you is, what are student organizations and what ones are you in on campus? Please, if they are some sort of letters in an order or whatever, please describe what those letters are and explain in full so that those who are listening who've never heard of those before will understand a little bit more. But go ahead, tell me what you're in. What are you doing?
So I'm in, to start with, NSLS, which is the National Society of Leadership and Success here at Mott.
That one's my favorite because I'm the advisor.
Oh.
Yep. And so
Some bias.
with that group, you get a lot of access to a lot of successful individuals who have been past part of NSLS, as well as scholarship opportunities and just really great ways to grow and level up your business caliber for the future. I'm also part of CLEF, which handles giving out funds to the clubs and organizations here at Mott. So like if you want to plan an event for your club, you would come and present in front of us. And then we would, either say yes or no to the funds provided to you. And then I'm also a part of SPAC, which is the Student Presidential Advisory Committee. And we work with the president to try to bridge the gap between students and the president to get those needs met.
Dang, Grant.
Yeah,
Really awesome.
Grant's got a lot going on.
2 out of 3, because I'm also on CLEF too.
Yeah.
The College Life Enhancement Fund.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, and that's actually, you followed the same as your wife when she was a student here most recently, who did pretty much exactly all the same things.
That's true. Jenna did.
I think she had me beat. I think she was in the the writing group as well.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what the name of that.
It's
one.
like an honors.
Yep, they have an honors.
Like
Come on, Grant, step it up.
No, I'm blanking. As soon as I want to say it, I'm blanking out.
No, you're doing great. I think it's important to spread yourself out. I do think that Grant is a high achiever in the fact that he's at some of the most frequent clubs and groups that organize on campus that are directly related into the assistance of other clubs. And so our organizations like Campus Life Enhancement Fund is hugely impactful when it comes to the role of finances on campus. So if you're listening and you're interested in being a part of that group, we are recruiting currently. It is a volunteer position, but you do get a lot of really good perks. This is a great resume booster for you. We feed you lunch every time you come. We only We only meet 4 times a semester. So it's typically the first Friday of every month at 10 o'clock, and we meet for a couple of hours. We listen to a bunch of proposals. We get to hear about everybody's ambitions and what they want to do with their groups.
It's really cool because you get a chance to support student organizations
Right.
without having to be the advisor or a member or do the heavy lifting. So
And
that's
it's-
why I like it.
Yeah, it's primarily comprised of 10 students and then 4 faculty or staff members. And then there's an advisory council for that are non-voting members. But they're the ones there to kind of help you learn Robert's Rules of Order. So it's kind of formal, but it is a good way for you to understand what it's like to work on the business side of things. So I highly encourage that. So I'm glad that you're a part of that group. And we're always looking for more people. So if you're interested, let us know. Anybody else? What are you guys in?
I'm not in as many important things as you are, Grant. But yeah, I am part of SPAC, Student Presidential Advisory Council. And, like Grant said, bridging the gap between the president, the administrative department and the student body. Just putting ourselves out there and talking to the president about what the students want. So
Yeah.
that's really all I have right now. I'm an athlete, so
I was going to say, you can talk about that too. That's doesn't necessarily fall under the term club because it's an athletic group. But what team are you on?
I'm part of the Mott wrestling team.
Nice.
I actually have nationals later this week that I'm going to.
Ooh.
So going
Congrats.
all the way out. Thank you. Out there for that. So that's going to be interesting. But that's just what I do most of my time here.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool because we plan to do a whole podcast on athletes coming up.
Yeah.
So you'll probably be on that one too if we're lucky, but we'll see. I do think that it's important to highlight the athletes and what they're doing on campus as well.
Definitely.
And it's not necessarily something you can try out for the teams. You can't just join them, obviously, but it is an opportunity for collegiate athletes to take advantage of some of the pro teams that we have on campus. We also have an esports team. So a lot of people don't know about those things because they think of the conventional physical athletes. And then you have the ones that are involved in esports and some other teams. We've got lots of stuff. We got, our softball team, baseball team. We've got cross country. We've got both basketball teams. We got a lot of stuff. So there's plenty, volleyball, all that stuff. So if you're interested in any of that too, maybe I'll just point you in Jason's direction and he can help you out with that. All right. All right. Well, what about you, Andre? What do you got?
I'm a part of SPAC as well, kind of being the voice of the student body for the president. And it's very informal, and I learn a lot every week. So I'm very proud to be a part of that group.
Good.
I'm a part of Phi Theta Kappa, which is a great group. And
what does Phi Theta Kappa do?
it's an honor society.
Honor Society. Nice.
Yeah, it's an
Very
honor
cool.
society.
And that's honor society for 2-year colleges. So if you meet a certain GPA requirement, which I'm not positive, but I think it's 3.5. If you meet that, then you should be eligible to join that group on campus. And if you're interested, again, you can come to Student Life. We can connect you with the right people. Make sure that you get into that group as well.
Yeah, wonderful group. And also the Black Student Union under the leadership of Daryl Petway,
Nice.
which is a great group.
It is a great group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you part of BMI too, or are you just
Yes, I'm also part of BMI, which is kind of like half of the BSU.
right? So
Black
that's
Male
a
Initiative.
Black Male Initiative. That's awesome. So you're in a lot too. Everybody's got some stuff going on. So, and then KD, tell us you're an advisor. So tell us what you advise and kind of how you got involved with that.
So I joined the college in 2017, and about 3 weeks after that, I had the advisor for the NSLS, which is the National Society of Leadership and Success, come to me and say, "Hey, do you want to be a co-advisor?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I have a master's in organizational development and leadership, so that makes sense. I am also the advisor for the GSA, which is the Gay Straight Alliance, also known sometimes as the Gender and Sexualities Alliance. So both names work really well for us, and I am the advisor for both. And I love it.
That's awesome. So now that we kind of know what everybody's involved in, tell me, like, I'm going to have to say this, but pick like one that you're thinking of, and then tell me a little bit about what it is that you've done with your club. Maybe it's volunteering, maybe it's work on campus in some capacity. Maybe you've traveled somewhere with your group. Tell me it's one thing that stands out to you that you really enjoyed being involved in that particular organization.
I believe Student Life hosted a African American museum trip for us.
Yes.
And we the BSU, the BMI went on the trip, and we truly enjoyed ourselves, and we had dinner, and it was just one of the most amazing experiences I've had as a student.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super
I'm
cool.
still disappointed. I was sick that day, so I didn't get to go. So I was really bummed out. But I heard that it was a great trip, and I'm looking forward to it. We plan to do that every year now, and this is open to all students, not just the BSU and BMI. But they do have a significant number of students that come. But any student of any culture and any race or any background can come on these field trips. They are on Fridays, typically once a month. Maybe next year, maybe twice a month. We're not sure yet. But you can come with us. We typically will provide you transportation for free, and we will also feed you. So it's either breakfast or lunch, depending on the time of day that we go.
Feeding me.
Yes, of course.
For it.
Always
Never
free
say no
food.
to
We
free
know
food.
we
I
know
love
how to
that.
get people's hearts on that one.
Well,
We
that's
know.
why I'm part of the club. I mean,
That's
absolutely.
right. So feeding people goes a long way, but we usually try to partner that with something cultural. So if it's going to learn about Black history, then we will try to find a private or an institution or organization that is run or owned by Black individuals, that maybe it's a restaurant in this case, and we will take you there to eat to kind of enhance that cultural experience a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Anybody else? What you guys been doing?
I think kind of in general for me, I've stepped into more leadership positions in clubs. And I think that's been the biggest source of like learning that I've had. When I first started coming to college, I wasn't very disciplined. I definitely failed a couple classes, was not having my head on straight. And then since I've taken more of a not self-centered, but a centered approach, and just focused on trying to be the best leader I possibly can be, I've seen my grades increase as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me personally, I think that really this year was big for me. Because school for me it's been fine. I just haven't had an opportunity to have that like leadership role, and being in a student organization like SPAC just kind of gave me the chance to display myself and my leadership qualities. And so I feel like, having those kind of organizations presented to you, you're able to not only like build onto your character and connect with people, but you're also just able to say like, hey, I did this in college. I did this thing. I worked with students to talk to the president about blah, 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 blah. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool because when I went to community college back in the Stone Ages, I didn't get involved in any campus clubs. I didn't even know that there were clubs on campus. I feel like I was let down a lot by my old community college. I won't mention their name down in Ann Arbor. Anyways, but I will say it's so important to get involved with things on campus. You don't want to be on that conveyor belt of, I wake up, I go to school, I go home, I eat dinner, I go to work, I wake up, I go to school, I go to dinner. It's important to get involved in a lot of things because you really do expand your mind, and you get a chance to also expand your network, and your network is your net worth. So, and that's something I say in NSLS a lot. It's really important to get involved. So it kind of makes me happy seeing y'all over here being all involved in stuff. So I love it.
Something I forgot to mention too, something I'm excited that we're going to get to do with SPAC is we're going to be going with the president to lobby at our Capitol here in a few weeks. I'm excited for that, just be able to get to know our representatives and stuff like that and represent our college. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that's a very unique experience, and we always love having students that are eager to do that. It's definitely not something that is an easy task. It does take some training. We do spend some time together to kind of get you a little bit ready for it. But it's definitely a very enriching experience. I think that I had never lobbied until I brought students to the lobbying day. So, and I've been to lobbying, like opportunities, and I've been to events and things, but this was very direct. This is getting the opportunity to go right into your representative's office and tell them why you think community college is important and why it should be important to the rest of our state, and making sure that we are really honing in on some of the needs and the necessities of what are going on in community colleges. So I think the students will have a great experience on that one. I know students in the past have, for sure.
Well, I know the GSA, we're actually getting ready mid-April. The Gender and Sexualities Association for Michigan Community Colleges is having their annual conference down in Ann Arbor. And so we went last year, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. And so we're going to go again this year, too. And always looking for great opportunities to take students to things. They do such a great job of fundraising and just lobbying for themselves. So, yeah, get out, experience life.
Yeah. It expands your mind, and the opportunities to just be a part of something bigger than you just is life changing. Honestly,
yes, it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I know we're talking a lot about like these big movements with these clubs, like going to lobbies and talking to representatives. But even doing something like we have a D&D club, right?
Yeah,
just something like a hobby to enjoy yourself and connect with people is huge.
Yeah,
You know,
it's. Maybe if you're not a person who really enjoys speaking in public, a lot of what you're right. A lot of what we've been talking about has a lot to do with that. But D&D is a great option. We also have anime. We've got a lot of surrounding hobby ideas where it comes to, like, we've got our gamers club, which is involved with video games and tabletop games and pretty much anything else you can think about. I think they also have LARPing as well. So it really depends on, and for those that don't know, it's live action role play. But there are opportunities outside of the conventional and some of these other things that we have going on to just ultimately be comfortable in your space and do the same hobby as someone else. We have a book club. It's called the Page Turner Society. So if you're like, hey, I don't really want to talk to anyone, I would just rather discuss a book, that's great too. We got that option as well. So there are plenty of opportunities, and for every type of person. And we actually have the opportunity for you to start a club as well. If you find something that we don't already have, I would highly encourage that you check that first, because right now, we just discussed this before we started. We just signed our 52nd club, so yeah, that's pretty good, and that's been in the last 3 years. So we went from 0 clubs to 52 clubs. So we're doing a great job trying to get people involved, and a lot of students have a lot of really good ideas, and we want you to be involved. We want you to come and suggest a new group. That's how our creative writing group got started. That's how a lot of our
Speakeasy got started that way. Yeah,
Speakeasy, which is our debate/communications club. We've also got a lot of health science clubs that have started that way. So there is plenty of opportunities. And then we also have the opportunity for you to just say, hey, you don't have this very specific niche thing that I like to do. I would like to start my own group. There are processes that you have to complete first. And we can go into that another day. But if you're interested and you're curious, you can stop by Student Life, and we have a packet, like a quick start guide that you can do to start one of these clubs as well. So great point. Yeah. We definitely have more than just speaking in public and lobbying. So, that's great, though. I'm really encouraged to know that you guys are actively involved. It's really important. I think that we have officers that are needed for a lot of these groups too. So we want to make sure that if you're looking for a leadership position, there's plenty that are open. So people who want to be actively involved on campus is really what we're looking for. So another one of my questions for you guys is, can you share some of the key events or initiatives your organization has hosted on campus? And along with that, how has your organization contributed to the community? Maybe it has something to do with that.
So last semester, when I was on SPAC as well, we helped run the Meet Your Board Day, where we got to meet our board members that were up for election, got to ask them questions about what we were concerned with and what they were going to do for us as students here at Mott. I think that was a huge help to the student body if you showed up for that. Yeah,
that's a great one.
I showed up to that. It was really amazing. Yeah.
Riding off of that, also what we did last semester as SPAC, we presented who we were to the executives.
All managers on campus. You guys got to talk to everybody, which was pretty great.
So that was pretty big.
There's a big panel of 10 of you in front of a whole room of
Very
like
intimidating.
85 managers.
Y'all did great.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Yeah. I felt good about it. But yeah, just volunteering opportunities, any events that you can volunteer at, you know. And I know it's not like an official organization, but as a athlete, our team was able to, during the summer, help with parking events. We were able to help assist events. I think it was with the softball team, but just getting out there, helping businesses in Flint.
Yeah,
That was a big achievement.
that's
So,
cool.
We took over Taste Fest for Student Life.
Yeah.
I
Taste the Soul,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah, Taste the Soul, which was really successful. And everybody seemed to enjoy that.
That was just last month.
Yeah, just last month
Yeah.
and just last week for the community, we put on a Kwanzaa event, just teaching Kwanzaa and the importance of it. And we also served dinner, which is always which is always good. So
That's awesome. Yeah, those
the
are good.
Soul Food Day was really amazing. Those fish nuggets.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm drilling a little bit just thinking about them. Here we are. Yeah.
No, those are really good opportunities. And I know, as we mentioned, we get like for a couple of our other ones, I know Anime does a weekly movie night here.
Oh,
So that is for members, but also for anybody who might be interested in anime that might not be a member yet. You're welcome to join them as well. I know our Japanese Culture Club hosts sushi making workshops and ramen making workshops. So those are picked on calendar dates, so it really depends on when they're available. But if you're interested, you can always show up to those as well. And usually the opportunity is free. So this is a great time for you to be able to get some culture and learn a little bit about other foods and stuff like that. And I know when it comes to being involved in the community, the D&D Club is working on a partnership with the Flint Public Library to host D&D campaigns to teach teenagers and youth this summer. So if you're a member of the community and you're listening to this and you have younger children who might be interested in Dungeons and Dragons, if you don't know what that is, I highly encourage you to look it up. But it's essentially a role-playing game. And if your children are interested, they can go to the library and sign up, and that is free as well. So there are plenty of opportunities where our student clubs are actively involved in their community and trying to make connections with those that might not already be students at Mott. So
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Lavender graduation
There you go,
ceremony.
yeah.
So that is something that the GSA put on 3 years ago. This will be our third event that we're hosting. It's always the Saturday before commencement. And it is just a way to honor and celebrate our LGBTQIA plus students who are graduating or transferring, and just give them all the love and send them on their way. So we're really excited. We're partnering with several different groups in the community to actually host this and put it on. So very exciting.
that's very exciting. And I know BSU has a BSU celebration at the
Yeah.
end of the year,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that one will be coming up.
Celebratory.
Oh yes, the celebratory. That's what you call.
Yeah.
I think that one was great. I was invited to attend last year and got to see all of the graduates, and they got to each one of them speak. And I think LabGrad did the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a very great opportunity to see the students from these particular groups. Even if you don't belong to those groups, then you're more than welcome to come and have like a little bit of an education on what goes on with those as well. But make sure that you check with them and make sure that they are having their event and what day it is and things like that. Become active on campus so that you can get involved in some of these groups as well. Another question I have for you guys is, how do you balance your responsibilities with the organization that you're in, also with your academics? So I know that we've touched on this in some previous podcasts, so we won't go too deep into it, but obviously a lot of you are in a lot of things. So how do you do that and also pay attention to your grades? Because obviously your academics are very important, the most important. We want to make sure that you pass your classes and that you graduate. So how do you do that?
Definitely have open communication with your teachers. I spread myself a little thin in the beginning of the semester and got behind in classes, and I just was honest with my professors and told them what's going on, and they worked with me, and I was able to get back on track. I'd say the biggest thing, though, is your academics have to come first. Any of these organizations, if your grades are suffering, and all of these advisors who run these clubs will tell you, just let me know if something's going on. There's no punishment for not being able to attend these clubs and be able to focus on your academics. Just make sure you're putting those academics first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we do have a requirement, just in case anybody's curious. If you do want to be involved in a campus club, as a blanket statement, Student Life requires you to have a 2.0 GPA or higher. That helps us to make sure that you're concentrating on your academics first, and then you're getting involved in the social activities. So not that we don't want you to be involved, but we do want you to focus on school first. And I know that that's sometimes tough for some people because they can't do both all the time. We understand that, and we're here to help you. So if you do need help, you want some help with tutoring, things like that, we have those resources as well.
I'd say time management is a virtue
Oh,
for
yeah.
not spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah.
Which I really sucked at before, but I'm just being honest. But kind of forced myself to get into shape, setting up a schedule and all that. Just important for later in life, but glad that I got it down now, right?
Right.
Just discipline and time management, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree. And just like you said, just being transparent with your leaders and your advisors, and they understand as
Right.
a student how busy we are, and just knowing that academics come first, like you guys said,
Yeah.
So
And it is very important to also be being transparent with yourself, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we've talked about this previously as well in other podcasts where we're like, hey, it's really important to know you and how much you can handle, and being honest with yourself about what you can handle, and making sure that you set your priorities and that you understand that, yeah, you might have 3-4 kids and you got a spouse at home and you got other priorities that are taking place. What is the most important to you, and make sure that you put that out in the forefront so that you're not dropping the ball on yourself. You want to make sure that you are definitely working mentally and physically to benefit your future success. And we definitely don't want to get out there too far and say yes to everything and then kind of mess yourself over when you're trying to recover from all of that too. And that's not a problem. Sometimes you got to say no, right? Like we don't want to say no. There are a lot of people pleasers out there like me. I know. And our first instinct is a knee-jerk reaction of saying yes to everything, and that doesn't necessarily always benefit you. I have a partner who has definitely reminded me of that on the daily. Like, it's important to have boundaries, right? And boundaries for yourself, not necessarily saying that you shouldn't have boundaries for your family and things like that, but like for you, what can you handle mentally and emotionally, and then you can pile on extra things. And if you can handle 4 or 5 different groups like Grant, then maybe that is your maybe that's your thing. And maybe if not, and you're doing something else that is taking priority, maybe you're an athlete, that takes precedent over a lot of other things because that helps with scholarships and things like that as well. So first your academics, and then you kind of set out your priorities and what you think is most important.
I feel like also as people, we usually we think we can take on a lot more than what we actually can. And so it's really easy to you're handling 1 or 2 things and you're like, oh, I can handle 1 more thing. It's fine. And then all of a sudden, everything's falling apart. Just stuff like that happens. And
yeah, I can imagine athletics taking away your physical energy, and then, and then academics taking away your mental energy. So I mean,
you spread pretty thin after that, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we love our athletes. We know they sacrifice a lot, for sure. Like I was an athlete in high school. I would have never, ever made it in college. So I definitely give you guys a lot of props because you pull some long hours, especially during season. But even not in season, you're still working out and you're still making sure that you're keeping yourself up. I can't imagine. I don't even like to go for walks. But my next question for you guys is, what advice would you give to students considering joining a club or organization? And it can be anything.
I would honestly say support.
Yeah.
If you see the GSA out selling popcorn, or if you see the anime club out, or you see the BSU out trying to promote and get students involved, just support, just hear them out, and just get involved and learn about the clubs before joining them.
Yeah, that's incredibly important.
You don't have to be a part of the club to go and meet the people of the club and to figure out what they're about. I would say, like, if you're interested in something, if you go onto the website and you type in clubs on the Mott website, you'll get a link that shows all of the clubs on campus, and you should be able to get contacts through there. Just reach out to somebody, see, ask them questions, see when their next meeting is. If you can just watch, even, you don't even have to participate, and just get yourself out there and see what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have the time to do it.
Touché.
If you're taking a lot of really hard classes and you really like anime and you want to join the anime club, maybe focus on your classes first before you start reaching out to clubs.
I think it's important too in the same respect is that, yes, we want you to focus on your academics and those come first. But if you've committed yourself to a club, especially in a responsibility role, like as an officer, the people in your club depend on you, right? Like they're the ones that are like, hey, we can't function without you. There's actually a bylaw within student life that says if you don't have 4 officers, that at all times, then your club can slip into what is called LAG, which is a limited affiliation group, which means that you can't travel, you can't spend your money, you can't raise money, So if you're going to commit yourself to a club and you're going to say, yes, I want to be a leader, then be a leader. If not, then, and make sure you're communicating like, Andre suggested, make sure that you talk to your leaders and your advisor and say, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Like, can you help me? Or I might need to transition out of this particular role. I'm willing to hang on to it until we can find somebody else, figure out what works for you, but also understand that a commitment is a commitment and people really do depend on those other individuals.
Well, and I think there's a lot of different layers of ways that you can get involved.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm only an advisor, but you can't, as Andre said, you can just go and support. Maybe for that event, there's something that you can do because you've got time. Maybe you do want to be a leader. Maybe you just want to be as part of the Discord chat or whatever chat they use. Or maybe you just want to be an idea person. There's a lot of different ways to be involved without being too involved.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we say you have to have at least 4 officers, but maybe your club has 10 officers and you spread the wealth a little bit. There's opportunities for like editing the processes. Yep. But what we want to do is make sure that not only are we committed to our academics, but if we are going to commit to something socially, that we don't leave it in dust sometimes and we forget 100%. Our roles and responsibilities. I think that's really important. How can students get involved with your particular organization? I know we touched on some already, so we can reiterate those if we want, or we can talk a little bit about other opportunities maybe you guys know a little bit about, and or how can they attend your events that you host?
On Wednesdays at 4:30, the BSU/BMI, we meet and you can come on Zoom. We have a Zoom link. Everybody gets sent the email, I believe. And it's a really easy process. Just come on or come to the broad building and we just discuss different topics and different ways we can get the culture and each other just ahead and empowered. So it's really good.
That's great.
In SPAC, I'm sure it's already been said before in other podcasts, but just talk to me. Like, come up to me and talk to me and complain to me. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to take your complaints and give them to somebody else.
Yeah.
But that's just how I'm supposed to get involved with the students. And then I talk to the people upstairs, and that's just how it works.
And something that we're hopefully going to have rolling out here soon is called peer-to-peer services. So hopefully on campus, you guys will be able to see a poster referencing SPAC, and it'll have a QR code. And it'll have next to all of our names on there, it'll have a time. If you do that QR code during the times that we're in the Zoom, you can ask us any questions you have.
Yep.
Yeah, which is a great opportunity. So we hope a lot of people utilize that. Yeah.
The National Society of Leadership and Success, we're invitation. So if you've got a 2.5 and above, you'll get an invitation. For the GSA, we meet Mondays at 12:30 in the Bear Den, and we meet Thursdays at 2 p.m. in Curtis Mott Room 1002. And every single person is welcome to come and just hang out, learn more, whatever.
So what I'm about to say is a large information dump. So hopefully you will have the opportunity to come and kind of scroll back and listen again. But this is going to be a more broad conversation for you all, but anybody who's listening, if you want to get involved with a student organization on campus, and it's not directly related to one of the ones we've talked about today. As we mentioned, we have just signed our 52nd club, which in about a week will be outdated, and I'm sure we'll have more. And that is something that we're a happy problem, a good problem, right? But our problem is that we do on our website, we can only update so fast. So we're trying to get as many on there as possible. And we also have posters throughout campus. Unfortunately, those posters get outdated within a couple of weeks. So if you have a question and you're not sure about which type of student organization you want to be a part of, or you don't see it on a list or it's not on the website, come talk with us. We are in the Curtis Mott building. Room 1129 is our common room, and you can come find me in my office, or we have student employees that wear yellow vests that can tell you all about what we do in the Office of Student Life and connect you with those particular social groups. So for those that are interested, we have 3 types of Student Organizations. We've talked about a few so far, but we have what is called Special Interest Clubs, or SIC. So those groups are the ones that we talk about when we say hobbies. So the ones like D&D and anime, that's that type of club. We also have other things like, we've got a tennis club and we got a dance club and we got a bunch of different things that come with that. So that's special interest clubs. And then we have what is called our National Honor Society. So we have about 5 at the moment. We're possibly signing a 6th. So those ones typically require a specific GPA. So, and they're all different. So you would want to connect directly with those advisors. If you need to do that, you can come speak with me, and we can make sure that you have the right requirements, and then we'll pass you along to the advisor. And then we have what is called PAO, or PAO. Those are program affiliated organizations. And those groups are specifically affiliated with a program on campus. So that means that if you are part of the dental hygiene program, or you are part of the physical therapy program, or you're part of respiratory care, those individual groups have their own clubs. You do have to be a student of those groups in order to attend their club meetings and be a part of their club. Just because they are affiliated, they have a lot of different things that are required within their club as far as national requirements, things like that. So if you are interested in those groups, we have plenty of those as well. And we are more than happy to connect you. Those that are already in those programs probably already know about those groups. But if you're looking to, say, getting into the nursing program, we can introduce you to the group, the SNA group. And if you're not getting all of those connections, or you're just simply interested and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, maybe you want to join a club to kind of get an idea. For example, I know I've talked about this before on another podcast, but when I first started going to college, I was my program was American Sign Language, and I was incredibly invested. I was like, man, this is going to be so great. I'm gonna do such a great thing for the community. And I did not have a club at the time when I was thinking about which degree I wanted to go into. And as a result, I got into the program, and unfortunately, not very quickly. I was almost actually done with my program when I realized that was not for me. I love the program. I think that the program is essential. I think that the students who can complete that should be held to a great standard. They are awesome people. Unfortunately, I was not one of those awesome people. And so I got pretty far into my degree before I realized this is not my vibe. I can't do it. And I had really thought back on it, and I wish that there was a club that I could have joined at the time where I could have said, let me try this out for a minute and see if this is something I want to do, as like a little tester, right? Mm-hmm. So our hope is that you guys who are listening will join an organization maybe before you consider what you want to do long-term, and that can potentially help you to make those long-term decisions. Maybe you try it out. Maybe you join a particular group that is affiliated with some sort of program, and you say, maybe this is not a degree path I want to take, instead of spending obviously a ton of money on something that you don't intend to complete. So, and our objective within the Office of Student Life and Mott in general is to see you succeed. So we are very carefully helping you to consider what is important to you and what degree path you want to go through. So we want to see your success. We want to help you out. So if you're interested and you want to join any of these organizations, please come hang out with us. We can talk to you a little bit more about it. And like I said, we have our quick start guide with how to start a new club if you're interested. And there's some new things that will be coming up next year as well that we can introduce you to as well. So that's just a little bit of a brain dump from me to kind of give you a more broad perspective on how to join some of these wider organizations. So another thing I want to know from you guys is what is your favorite memory or accomplishment from being a part of this particular group? So pick a group that you're involved in, and think of a memory that you like that you could translate to someone else as a success.
I would say SPAC, when we all met the president, and we had pizza, and we got shirts.
Yeah.
And just, it was very different for me. I just felt like it just gave me so much, confidence and just thoughts I never thought I'd have, being in something so huge like that. And it was like I never saw myself being in this room before.
Right.
So it was very encouraging and inspiring. So I would say awesome.
That. I would say also an SPAC, when I was presenting who we were to the board members, executives and all that, just felt very important. I felt like I was serving, a big purpose, which it was really a really big thing
Mhm.
for us, and it's a really good memory, and I'm glad that I was given that opportunity.
I'd say probably definitely all the things we've done with SPAC just as a leadership role. But I'm really excited about lobbying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm really
I was
excited
thinking
about
about that.
I'm really excited for that. I think that's going to be a really unique opportunity that we're going to have as college students to represent our college there. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So I have too many memories to count because I have been here for many, many years. But I will say, as an advisor from me, it is the opportunity to stay connected with students after they graduate and hear about the amazing things they're doing and support them in those things and help them, figure out, maybe navigate what their next path might be. I love having past students reach out to me, and I have students from 2017 that still reach out to me, and that makes my heart happy.
Wow.
Yeah. I love that. I like
amazing.
watching students who come back and talk about their successes, or maybe a club that they joined in their 4-year institution that they left here and they went to another place and they said, hey, I was in the GSA here and then I was in the GSA over at U of M or wherever else they went. And they're talking about all the things and the connections that they made and the socializing that they've done. We love hearing about that stuff. So it's very, very encouraging. So I definitely think also for those that might be listening, if you're a faculty or staff member and you're interested in being a part of the student experience in a more hands-on opportunity, you are more than welcome to join us and become an advisor of a campus club. I won't go too much into it, but you do get paid.
Let me just say, do it.
Do it.
It is such a rewarding experience.
It is, and it's definitely a very enriching experience for everyone. And so you work directly with me and my assistant Casey, and we'll walk you through the process and how to get connected. And you can also partner with another faculty or staff if you want to share the responsibility a little bit, or if you just have a particular interest that you'd like to kind of, I guess, show to the rest of the campus and get other students involved. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd like to see what we can do to get you involved here in student life. I think it'd be great.
Waiting for that crochet group to start.
That's
so
right.
I can learn.
Start back. Yeah, we got to get them back up. We do have an interested advisor for crafting club.
I
so
heard.
Yeah, so,
I'm like, let's do it.
yeah, we're working in that direction. So thank you guys. I do have one final question for you before we wrap up. And that is, of course, the same question that I ask at the end of every single episode. What advice do you have for students who are looking to either start a new club or join a club on campus?
Oh, that's easy. Find your people and then pick a consistent day and time to meet so everybody knows that you're going to meet at that consistent day and time.
Right.
And your people will follow you.
They will.
I say the biggest thing, just don't put pressure on yourself. Just make it fun. If you're doing something extracurricular, don't make it stressful.
Right.
Definitely just go into it with a positive attitude and just put your best foot forward.
Enjoy yourself. Do something that you are actually passionate about. Don't do it just because we told you to do it. Just do what you want.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the time. I already said that, but make sure.
No,
you have
that's
the time.
good.
I would say understanding the expectations and exceeding them if you can.
Yeah.
Just
Great
go
advice.
above and beyond if you can.
Great advice. All right. Well, thank you guys. I think we covered the topic pretty well. I think that, again, if you guys are listening and you have any input or you'd like to ask a question, you can put it down in the chat, and we'd love to see some of those questions live. If you want to come into Student Life and ask those questions in person, we're more than happy to talk to you about those as well. Again, we're in the Curtis Mott building, room 1129 during the day. We also host a bunch of events during the week that you can come participate in, and we will be happy to talk with you. And if you want to talk specifically to SPAC, as Grant mentioned, soon we will have our peer-to-peer student services that will be live, and you can jump in on that and talk to a student directly. And we're more than happy to answer anything that you have, or maybe encourage you if you're looking to start a new organization on campus. There are plenty to get involved in. So we look forward to hearing from you. And again, like, comment, subscribe to our channel. We'd like to hear everybody's opinions and hang out with the best bears on campus. So we're looking forward to it. And we look forward to talking to you about our next topic next week. So you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you, special guests, for joining us. And we will see you again. All right, go Bears.
Go Bears.
And that is it for this episode of Bear Blast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to follow us so you're always in the know about what's happening at Mott. And for even more Bear content, check us out on TikTok and Instagram. Just search for MCC Student Life. Until next time, go Bears!